The afterlife. It's just an old wives' tale invented by priests to keep humanity down, right? To promise them a new life if only they obey and don't start a revolution, right? But what are we to make of the fact that famous author Ernst Jünger, for example, said, quote, "Above a certain intellectual altitude, everybody has basically accepted the afterlife, like Leonardo, Plato, Goethe, Schopenhauer. This is actually quite self-evident to me." Or that John Cleese of Monty Python fame,
"You have been found guilty."
one of the biggest critics of authoritarian religion, openly accepts the afterlife. Whether or not life goes on after death might have huge consequences to our life, how we relate to each other, our aspirations and our hopes. So you might ask yourself, is there any evidence pointing to life after death? Well, Carl Jung, for instance, reports a case that has made a big impression on him. One of his patients, a young woman, almost died after a forceps delivery and fell into a coma. During that time, as Jung explains, quote, "She was looking down from a point in the ceiling and could see everything going on in the room below her. She came back after 30 minutes, and to the doctor's amazement, she could tell in detail what was going on while she was out, as if she really did see it. This is called an NDE, or near-death experience. There are even more spectacular ones where people experience an NDE, go out of their body, go to a totally different country, come back to their bodies, wake up and tell their tales. And what they saw actually checks out. Researcher Stafford Beatty actually wrote a book where he compiled all kinds of evidence that points to the afterlife. As fascinating as near-death experiences are, there's more, such as terminal lucidity, where very old and sick people who can barely speak or think or express themselves experience moments of complete clarity just right before they die. This has been observed by nurses throughout history and challenges some of our materialist assumptions about the brain and consciousness. Then there are all these strange cases of children apparently remembering their past lives, where they can produce all kinds of details that check out later. Now, whether all of that is true or not, you be the judge. But an interesting question is, what would it mean if it were true? What if there really is an afterlife? Now, there are different takes on that. The most famous one, obviously, is Karl Marx's opium for the masses, right? This is basically the idea that the afterlife is an invention to keep the masses down, to keep them from revolting. There is, of course, some merit to this idea. But then again, think about modern totalitarian states that often don't operate with religious promises at all, but rather promises of physical safety. And here, believing in the afterlife would actually prevent people from being so afraid that they accept totalitarian measures that are supposedly put in place for their physical safety, right? Because if you believe that life goes on, then you might think that there are more important values than just physical survival. You might actually become more rebellious and harder to control. There's another idea that I find kind of interesting, and that is that if you just act morally, say, because you fear God's judgment in the afterlife, then what is this morality actually worth? Isn't it just based on fear again? This is certainly true. But a better way of looking at it would be not necessarily that we fear God's judgment if we believe in an afterlife, but rather that we can't escape life in that situation, right? So there's really no blackness, stillness, total night at the end of our lives. This also means that we have no choice but confront our fears, our issues, and grow as human beings, become more moral, essentially more virtuous. Because what else is there to do if life goes on? So you see, it's not so simple as the Marxist story implies. I think a belief in the afterlife can have a profound impact on how we feel, act, how we put our lives together, how we respond to authority, what kinds of goals we are after, what kinds of values we espouse. So it's a question worth thinking about and looking into. I encourage you to do so, and please let me know what you think. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you next time.